So I'm just not long back from visiting a local bike charity place that I go to at least once a week, and sometimes they even let me know when they've got some bikes that they think I would like. And I've picked up this old Raleigh Milk Race. I picked this up today for only £20, and the reason that I bought this, or the main reason, was because I spotted the original Milk Race pump. Now these in themselves are worth £10, so there's half of my money back. And I've also got some wheels with it as well, although the tyres were shot. Okay, starting at the front, we've got some Diacomp safety levers, quite similar to the ones that I run on my regular ride, my claw butler. We've got some pleather bar tape there. It feels quite nice, to be honest, but you can tell it's not the real thing. That's in quite good condition, that. So somebody's obviously cared about this bike a little. We've got a pretty standard headset for the time, but in quite nice condition. And the Raleigh badge looks pretty good as well. I mean, they're a fiver. And we've got quite a nice conditioned front brake caliper on there. Cable looks pretty good as well. And on the down tube shifters, we've got a pair of indexed 105s. Yeah, indexing seems to work quite well. The other one needs a bit of a clean up. It's a shame that the little plastic surround here is broken off, but they often do. But I might actually have a spare one of those. The seat on it is in quite good condition, no splits on it or anything. She feels quite comfy. I think that'll be all right to leave on the bike. Steel seat tube. A bit of a rusted up seat post bolt there, but can change that out, no problem. And then moving down to the crank, we've got a quite nice conditioned custom crank. I do believe this is the one that this bike would have come with originally. You can see the teeth on it are still in very nice condition. It's always a good sign. And we have a unknown Suntour front derailleur on it. And at the back here we've got a Saxrat rear derailleur. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but never mind. And again, I do believe this is the one that these bikes would have come with originally when they were sold new. I will have to double check that on the old internet. Yeah, so I remember these milk races quite well from back in the 80s. A friend of mine actually had one, and I was always, I wouldn't say jealous of it because I was really into my BMX bikes at the time, but I definitely had a bit of a soft spot for the Raleigh Milk Race along with a few other bikes that were around then. Now I've had a little chance to look around it. I think I've done pretty well. Everything works very smoothly on it. There's not really much play and nothing much is loose. With the brakes and everything's nice and tight, and as should be. I think the only reason this was taken off the road and donated to the local bike charity was that the tyres had degraded so much, and maybe it was too expensive to get a new set, or they just had a new bike or something and didn't really need this anymore, surplus to requirements. So I'm well pleased though. I'm really pleased with just the pump on its own, so I would have given them a tenner for that. Right, let's have a look at the wheels. Okay, here are the wheels that I got with it. They're a set of 27 1¼ and the tyres on them were absolutely shot. I didn't even take them with me. They're made by a company called Chair from Japan. So these wheels are nutted axles. Quite a lot of the bikes we've been getting lately have actually had nutted axles on their back wheels, so they were possibly once used as bikes to be locked up at train stations, etc. And they run perfectly true, and no big eggs in them or anything, so I'm well pleased with those. Right, so I'm going to give it a bit of a clean up first. There's just a few little oily patches on it. Some of these I might have put on when I was carrying it with dirty hands. Actually, my hands aren't dirty right now. There's a few small marks here. These are just handprints, and there's just a few small little patches of dirt and grease that I can probably just get off with a wet cloth and maybe a little bit of T-cut. So I'm going to do that first. I'm going to take the pump off. Okay, so I'm going to give it a bit of a clean up first, and then I'm going to have a little look through my tyre pile and see if I can find a nice set of tyres and some inner tubes for those wheels, and I can get this up and running pretty easily. Okay, I've got the Raleigh all cleaned up. It's turned out really nice. I put the wheels on as well. It was easier to clean with the wheels and the tyres on. So I managed to find a nice set of tyres for it. These are the ones that were on the Mercian. We've got a new set for the Mercian, so I'm able to use these on this, which was really good. I think they suit the bike quite well. So we'll have a quick look at it while it's still outside and daylight, as the lights are a little bit better to see the detail. It's quite late in the evening now, but low light conditions are better than loads of glare and shine off of the shiny bits, because it has actually come up very nicely. Yeah. Let's get a bit closer down here. The wheels especially have come up really nice. They just had pretty much a light coating of dust and dirt on them, and the same with the hubs. I had a freewheel on my shelf that was perfect for it, so that's on there now. I think it's a Sun Race one, so that'll kind of suit this bike, I guess. But yeah, as you can see, it has come up very nice. Little shot of the front there. And this is just after a good clean. I haven't polished the frame or anything. I think a little bit of T-cut and that will come up fantastic. Okay, so let's get it back in the shed and see if we can find the rest of the bits to get it working. Okay, got the bike back in the shed. I found a chain that's perfect for it. This is one I took off a Raleigh mountain bike that I recently took apart. Doesn't have much wear on it. I think it was a recent fit, so yeah, this will go perfect on the Raleigh Milk Race here. So let's get the chain on and see how it runs. I'm going to run it up and down through the gears now. Now I do have the indexing turned on the gear shifter, so it'd be interesting to see if the indexing works now that I've fiddled around with the rear derailleur settings a little bit, and also I'm running a 5-speed freewheel and we have a 6-speed indexed shifter, so we'll see how we get on anyway. You'll hear the indexing as I go up through the gears. Okay, so that's 4th, 3rd, a little bit of noise there. There we go. Bit of a hesitation going up into 2nd. Now let's see how we get on with 1st, because this is running a 28 tooth as the largest sprocket on the freewheel, and I'm noticing that the distance between the rear derailleur is getting quite close as I go up through the gears, so it could rub. Let's see. Okay, we don't have any rub there, but it is a little bit rumbly. So as you can see there, we are getting a little bit close here and here, and that accounts for the slightly rough running. Now, I don't know if you can actually hear that on camera. Now I could adjust the B screw slightly and pull the derailleur a little bit back, make the distance a bit bigger, but if I do that it's gonna mess up some of the other gears because this is going to be too far back. We're going to be too stretched when we're in the large ring. I've just tried it real quick and that's sits then about there, so I've actually backed it off a little bit and put it back where it was. So I think what I'm going to do, two reasons behind this. So if you see here, this rear derailleur doesn't have any kind of barrel adjuster, so I've got no way of tensioning up the cable tension from this side. And with it being a down tube shifting bike, I don't have any way of tensioning the cable up from this end. So I think the best idea to fix these little issues I'm having is just to swap out this rear derailleur and I'll find a Shimano one to go on. I do have a few. And then the group set I think will be nearly all Japanese, yeah, with got the Japanese hubbed wheels, the Japanese custom crank, the Suntour front derailleur and the Shimano shifters and the Diacomp brakes and levers. So I think a Shimano one will be more suited to it anyway. So right, let's find one. Right, here's a selection of derailleurs, Shimano ones that we've got here. I already know which one I'm going to choose and you'll probably be thinking along the same lines as me. So can't put this 105 on. This will run on it, but that's far too nice to go on a milk race. I am sorry, milk race, but I have to draw the line somewhere. The STX, again, this would probably run on there okay. That is quite a long cage on there, but that's for another build of mine that's going to be coming up at some point, so that can't go. And then we have these three here, which are almost identical in construction and build. This is an early Dior XT from about 1990, I do believe. This is a Dior LX. I think this is about a 92 or a 93. And this is a Mountain LX, which is almost identical to the Dior. And I think again this is from about 92, 93. Now this XT has been run on quite a lot of bikes of mine back in the 90s. I probably ran this on 4 or 5 bikes. I reckon this has got about, it's probably got about 4,000 miles on it, and that's off-road miles, not road miles. I've got a bit of sentimental value to that, so I can't get rid of that. I know that's crazy, it's a derailleur, but that's been in my possession probably about 30 plus years. So. And the Mountain LX, that's just a little bit too rough. I could probably touch that up a little bit, but that's got a really long cage on it as well as the XT there. But this is a sort of happy medium here. This is the Dior LX, and that's a medium size cage there, so I think that'll be the one I'll be using. And it's pretty good condition. Nice barrel adjuster. Jockey wheels run nicely on it, so yeah, let's put this on the milk race. I think that'll suit it quite well. I've got the rear derailleur fitted up, went on pretty easy, no problems there. I have adjusted the stops so it doesn't go too far over and it sits in the right place on the bottom gear here. Don't want the chain getting stuck down between this little gap or going down in the back here. Okay, so let's run it up through the gears and see how we get on, see if it's a bit better than it was before with the old derailleur. I do have the indexing turned off at the moment because I'm probably not going to end up using these 105 gears on this bike. I do actually have a set of original ones for this bike. Definitely sounds better than before. To first there. Yes, much better. Let's go up onto the big ring. Let's try that again. I think it's slightly over shifting on the big ring. I think the chain almost wanted to come off then, so just gonna add a little bit of turn to that. Let's try that again. That's better. Yeah, sounds okay. Sounds much better than it did before anyway. Yeah, and I haven't even put any oil on this chain yet. It's still quite dry. Just going to pedal it backwards a little bit, see how that feels. It's all good there. No snags or anything. Down. Let's try again. Yep, some good alignment there. It's always good to test the bike pedalling it backwards. You'll be surprised how many people don't, and then the first time they do it out on a ride or something, their chain gets tangled up or jumps off. It's a good way of telling if anything's out of alignment. Okay, let's fit some brake blocks and then that'll be it. It'll be all finished. Ready to ride again. New lease of life. Okay, we're all finished. Everything's done, brakes are done, drivetrain, tyres, wheels, everything. It's ready to ride again. A new lease of life for the Raleigh Milk Race. Fantastic. Okay, let's take it outside and get a few better shots of it. Okay, that's pretty much it for this video. I'm going to just do one more thing really quickly, and that is weigh it, because this bike is pretty heavy. I know it is a plain steel bike, but it's just from moving it around, I can tell it's a lot heavier than the Raleigh Carlton Continental. And the Carlton Continental had steel rims on it, and they're quite hefty in themselves, but even with the steel rims it was actually lighter than this. Right, so I'll weigh it up and let you know, and then we'll be done. So I just weighed it, and it weighs nearly 12 kilograms. It was 11.9 kg, so quite a bit heftier than the racing bikes that were around at the same time that this was. But the Milk Race wasn't a high-end racing bike of the time. It wasn't a complete budget bike, but it was definitely at the lower end. But still, I bet a lot of people have fond memories of Raleigh Milk Races. Like I said, I used to love the way these looked back in the 80s, and I was like a hardcore BMXer, but even I used to look at the rally races and think they do look very smart. Okay, that'll be all for now. I hope you enjoyed this video of the Raleigh Milk Race getting fixed up and back on the road. And keep an eye out for my videos. I try and post at least once a week, if not more. And thanks for watching. Bye now.